Attention! All things shared in this video are simply the opinions of the Unexplained Files. The following footage is not tampered with, and all of the events and reactions are unplanned and genuine.
In 1880, not long before Christmas, the founder of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, Oliver Winchester, passed away. He passed his company and his fortune on to his son, William. The following March, William also passed away, and all of the company's fortune was passed on to his wife, Sarah Winchester. Having very recently lost her husband and suffering plenty of tragedy before that, all Sarah was left with was a fortune and time. As the inheritor of the Winchester fortune, and perhaps feeling lost, rumour has it that Sarah visited a psychic who warned her of a haunting tale of lost souls killed by Winchester Rifles.
The psychic warned Sarah that unless she could build a home to hold these spirits, she would be haunted until her dying day. The details of this meeting, or the supposed terms of her haunting, are vague at best, often seeming to be pure hearsay than actual truth. Could Sarah, having lived a life with plenty of loss, have been afraid of this haunting? Was she superstitious, or perhaps a woman driven mad by guilt? We will likely never know for certain. One thing we do know is that in 1885, Sarah chose to move from Connecticut to California, most likely as advice from her doctors to seek a warmer climate to help with her arthritis.
She purchased a property in San Jose, and shortly after, the renovations of her legendary property began. A reclusive woman, Sarah had very recently lost her husband and her daughter, and perhaps her secrecy, coupled with her name, was the perfect storm to fuel the rumours that surrounded her for her entire life. People believed that Sarah was ridden with guilt, although the people she surrounded herself with throughout her life insisted the opposite. Sarah and her husband, before his passing, had a love for architecture, and throughout Sarah's lifetime that love for architecture would only grow.
Sarah's house was a lifelong passion. She had a year-round team of carpenters and other builders who she would task with adding new rooms and furnishings. The people she employed were paid well and treated with care and compassion, often taking months off work, growing eager to return. Rooms were added sporadically, often not being finished. This led to windows with blocked-out views, empty room-sized hallways without function, and many more. The final addition to Sarah's home was an elevator added in 1916. The earthquake seemingly put to rest Sarah's renovations for good, as only functional repairs were made.
It would seem that rather than guilt, the motivations for Sarah's renovations were more so a passion project, something she used to express her creativity, to spend her fortune, and she even created a new family of people to be around who she employed to do the work on her home. Her home also allowed her comfort and freedom during her ailing health in the later years of her life, with wide and long stairways allowing her to move around the levels of her home, even with her arthritis. In 1906, tragedy struck as an earthquake hit San Francisco, damaging much of the home. The iconic central tower of the home collapsed after the earthquake, and many of the walls were left cracked and crumbling. After the earthquake, renovations on the home seemingly stopped and all repairs were functional only.
Final addition to Sarah's home was an elevator added in 1916. The earthquake seemingly put to rest Sarah's renovations for good, as only functional repairs were made. The state in which her home was left only added to public and media opinion that Sarah was in fact driven mad by her situation. This furthered the rumours of hauntings and guilt. The truth of the situation was most likely that Sarah had lived a life of much tragedy and loss, and found peace and hope in building something new. She built her home and a new family out of those who she employed, all of whom spoke highly of her.
A reclusive woman until her final days, even presidents were denied the opportunity to visit her legendary home. With her ailing health slowly but surely taking away her freedoms, her ability to walk, talk, write, Sarah passed away in 1922, having left behind her name, her incredible fortune, rumours and her legendary home. So what do you think of the Winchester Mystery House? Was Sarah a mad woman, riddled by guilt of the victims of her family's arms company? Was she driven crazy by the haunting tale of lost spirits hunting her down unless she created a space for them to roam? Or was she a woman simply overtaken by passion, creativity? After living a life of tragedy, she turned it around into a life of creativity. Did she create a new family for herself in the people she employed? Or was she simply just a mad woman that kept building her home until the day she passed away? We'll likely never know. And the rumours aren't likely to go away anytime soon. But I'll leave you with the information you've learned in this video to make your own opinion, and I hope you enjoyed this evening's video. If you want to check out some more of our content, some more of our case files, I'll stick an iCard up the top there for you to have a look. If you want to check out some of our paranormal investigations or podcasts, there will also be iCards out there for you to enjoy. We hope you enjoyed this evening's video, and we hope to see you again on the next one. Goodbye.